cynical movie I've seen. It's hysterical. But is there anything you're not cynical about?
Is coffee, another one that he brews. Cynical about friendships, family, yeah, festivals.
Not true.
No, I'm not that cynical. You know, I'm less cynical now. I'm more cynical about filmmaking now, but I'm less cynical about life. I think. Yeah.
Kind of cynicism, but makes a good comedy, though, right? I mean, cynicism about work or something.
Oh, it's definitely hysterical, but it's just
You made a drama, like, you know, the kind of movies that I think people expect to see out of Malaysia, like a heavy artsy drama, and more depressing.
I don't know, man. Hey, I have a drama lined up, you know.
Is it cynical? So yeah, what's
kind of cynical drama, I guess, you know, but it's for my parents, so it's less cynical than it is.
Make sure it doesn't get into any film festivals or win any awards though beforehand.
Oh yeah, we screened it first in Malaysia and then submitted to festivals.
Any other questions? Here?
Growing up, which Western film directors or movies most influenced you?
Right, okay. Mainly New York filmmakers actually. Woody Allen, Scorsese. I don't think you see a lot of Scorsese here. You know, a bunch of them. But you know, Woody Allen was the filmmaker that made me want to make films. Actually, I saw Annie Hall and I thought, wow, you know, film is a medium that is so flexible. There's so much you can do with film. Because when I was a kid, you know, back in Malaysia, we used to watch every year. I mean, my dad would bring us to watch one James Bond film, one Jackie Chan film, and the going, you know, disaster film, Towering Inferno, you know, Poseidon Adventure. So that's what I thought films were. Until I went to London for my law degree, and I started to see other films. You know, I think I saw my first Woody Allen film, The Radio Days, and Film Club, and Cranston's Misdemeanors, and Annie Hall. That Annie Hall really changed it for me because he used everything, split screen, subtitles. I mean, the subtitling thing. I mean, if I never seen Annie Hall, I wouldn't even do it. You know,
the karaoke scene also.
Yeah, the karaoke scene. I mean,
did you see his new movie?
Oh yeah, so
it's terrific. It's really terrific.
I like it. Yeah.
Question? Does somebody particularly have a question for Peter? I feel bad when you stand on stage. Question for Peter? Who's going to answer for Peter? Peter for the actor? Come on. Awesome. Yes. Well,
Does he have any other films?
yeah, what about you said you try having other films lined up?
Camera films,
That's how much he means. He's got the most expensive, biggest camera I've ever seen. Stills camera.
Yes.
It's amazing. Anyway.
That runs on digital. Right. Yeah, I've done a couple of short films, TV dramas, and as far as films go, I did an action movie called Apocalypse X, which should be out maybe next year, I think, or end of this year.
Did anybody see When the Full Moon Rises that we showed a couple of years ago? Malaysian film? I think the last Malaysian film. The same director.
Lama Khalid.
He's making a big, like, post-apocalyptic action film. It looks great. I've seen the sales, but it's not ready yet. It won't be finished for another 3 months. Otherwise, you'd be seeing it here.
They're working on CG right now, yes.
Yeah. And Peter's one of these.
One of the 5 big, like, gangster guys, if you'd like to call them that.
You speak Russian in it.
I speak Russian, and it's all in Bahasa, apart from, I speak Russian for one segment of the film, which was, interesting.
Apocalypse, yeah. So it's not finished. Peter hasn't seen it. You'll probably see it here next year. I won't do that. Questions? Comments? Yes, Pat?
Hi. First of all, congratulations on making such a highly original film.
Thank you.
From what I understand, probably tough. I can explain how tough it was in not making it a genre film. What was really stood out to me was the social commentary that was a thread throughout the film, from everything from seeing money change hands to, of course, the war, disenfranchised, and the characters' preoccupation with their identity, be it Malaysian or Chinese, Eurasian. I was wondering if you could speak to those points a little bit, what that meant to you.
The social stuff or just the Asian thing?
All the
Right.
That's very important to you.
I think the social stuff mainly. Well, you know, when I made this film, I didn't set out to send out social messages, but it's just that as you write, and you just everything you feel about things that you observe on a daily basis that affect you somehow, it just comes out in your writing. I sound so pretentious. I'm sorry.
It doesn't come off that way at all.
Yeah.
You haven't won the debut women's Asian feature award yet,
I'm still on my 33rd film. I'll get it on my 34th. There are lots of things I love my country, I love Malaysia, I love Malaysians. We're pretty relaxed people and quite nice sometimes. But we do have problems, and we talk about them in coffee shops. We don't, it's not broadcast. So when I wrote this thing, it's like when you create a character, you know that this character is going to go through this shit, and so it comes out that way. Malaysia, because of the racial thing is one thing. I don't even notice there are no Malays in this film, as it were. Maybe I'm overthinking, but I sometimes worry that if I make a comment as a Chinese guy, Chinese Malaysian making a comment, making a film that has a Malay character doing bad things, I might get flagged for it. So things like that. I mean, some things are not that obvious. Also, money stuff. I mean, doing creative stuff, creative things. The only way you can get away doing creative things is to work in an advertising agency. You get paid well, but you're not really doing your own stuff. Everyone thinks they are, but they're not. You're doing your client stuff. I was in an ad agency for 4 years. I had a good time. I was getting paid well, but it was not fulfilling. So, and then I got, I see a lot of rich people. My bosses were rich, and they were pretty nasty to me. Yeah, they wanted me to stay in the agency when I wanted to quit, and the way they tried to persuade me was to say, Joon Han, you need this job because your parents are not rich. Yeah, and another guy, he called me at home as I was vacuuming the floor, talked to me for an hour, and I was just like, until he got to the point where he said, Joon Han, tomorrow I can hop on a plane, fly to Paris to watch a film, but you can't. Do you know why? Because you got no money. And I'm like, why would you want to go watch a film in France? It's in French, they're all dumb. Well, yeah, so and the Pan-Asian thing, I didn't mean it to be such a big part of it. It's just that originally the role of the engineer, the Eric guy, he was supposed to be a Chinese guy, a total Chinese geek, but I couldn't find a guy to play it. So when I cast him, I had, it highlighted the Pan-Asian Eurasian thing a little bit more than I wanted. Originally, it was just the Hannah Edwards-Leong character. And it's true because in Malaysia, in Asia actually, I've heard that some music stations, TV stations, they would only employ you as a VJ if you are Eurasian. They won't employ you if you are total Asian, like a pure race. And we do, we somehow adore Pan-Asians. They look different, they look better to some people. Yeah, so that's the thing. They're really nice people. It's nothing to do with that.
But if you haven't had Peter in the film,